Hey, mamas. There are three reasons why I really do not like closed notes, guided notes, fill in the blank notes, whatever you want to call them. And I got to tell you, reason number three probably makes my blood boil the absolute most. So be sure to stick around for that. And I want to know, do you want your teens to know how to take notes? No matter if you've got a kiddo in middle school, high school, or college, would you like them to be taking notes at all, let alone better notes, ones they actually use, ones that are going to help them study for that test, get that homework done? Let me know down below. And if you already know, hey, Jessica, note taking is something my child needs help with, there's a link in the description for you to schedule a free consultation so we can talk all about study skills, all about note taking, and figure out what skills is your child really missing and how can learning how to learn through study skills make a difference. So let's start with the first reason that those guided notes are really hurting your child and not helping. Well, it really boils down to those notes being a crutch. Okay. So many students I work with don't know how to take notes. And it makes perfect sense because they've never been taught how to take notes. So that's kind of stumbling block number one is okay, here the teacher says take notes. Child doesn't know what to do. So a lot of teachers see their students not take notes. So then they're like, okay, well, I'll do guided notes because it's easier on my classes. And it lets me know, okay, as the teacher here, as the adult, I know they're going to get the most important information out of what we're covering in class today. What happens is our teens go, okay, well, I don't ever have to learn how to take notes because the teachers are always going to give me those fill in the blank notes. I never have to figure out what's important because the teacher's always going to tell me. So that is one of the biggest reasons, maybe all three boil down into one, that I cannot stand guided notes. I want your teens to learn the 7 note taking rules that I teach so that they can actually take notes in every class from middle school and beyond. And that means I want them to know how to take notes when they're an adult and they have a job. And maybe they're meeting with a client, they're meeting with a boss. Maybe they are just sitting there in the interview taking notes about the company, about the position. That still requires knowing how to take notes. I mean, can you think about it, mamas? What would it be like if you showed up for an interview, no matter if it's your first job, like in fast food or retail, versus if you showed up to a job for, some kind of management position or some kind of entry level corporate kind of serious career after getting your degree. And you're like, oh, before we start, can you give me an outline of what we're going to talk about? Can you kind of tell me what I need to take notes about? All right. It would not go well for you. And it's definitely not going to go well for your teen if that's what they expect note taking to be like. They expect to always be told, hey, this is how you take notes. Hey, this is the only way that works. And hey, here you go. Just write down a couple words here and there. That's all you need to write down today. You don't have to pay attention. You don't have to distill it. You don't have to put it in your own words. Just write down these things here and there occasionally throughout the class. Only listen for those things. Okay, so that's kind of leading up to reason number 2 that I really do not like guided notes. Before I share that, though, mamas, I want to say thanks for being here on Facebook and on YouTube. Be sure to like that, hit the like button. Be sure to follow and subscribe because this is only one video of hundreds that are here on my channel and my page. There are many, many more coming your way, all about study skills, all about helping your teen love to learn. And if we haven't met, I'm Jessyka Coulter, the CEO and founder of Ace Cookie Tutoring. I teach teens like study skills, like note-taking, so they can love to learn. All right. Other reasons I want you to be aware of that note-taking through closed notes, through these guided notes, not so great for your teens. We want your teens to learn how to personalize their notes. Okay. When I say personalize, I want your teens to actually know how to take notes to those 7 study skills that I teach. The 7 note-taking rules that I teach. But that also means they have to know how they learn, aka their learning style. Are they visual? Are they auditory? Are they kinesthetic? Because yes, the rule is the same. And yes, the way a middle schooler takes notes is the same thing as a high schooler, is the same thing as a college kid, let alone the way, mamas, that you take notes now is probably, and most definitely, if you've learned how to take notes, the same way you've been doing it for 10, 20, 30, how many ever years. Okay. but you have a personal style. And that personal style goes into your interests and also just like what works for you based on your learning style. Visual learners like myself, we use a lot of colors in our notes. That's a very personal choice, something that works. Okay, it can tie in for knowing, well, why is this highlighted in blue? Why was this written in red? Like those colors mean something when your teens actually know how to take notes. Auditory learners are going to listen a lot more than they're going to write. But yet, if they have guided notes, and maybe those guided notes are worth a grade, your child is expected to turn them in, your child is going to miss out on really understanding because he has to write more than he gets to listen. Kinesthetic kiddos, they have got to be active. They've got to tie in movement to those notes. And again, writing, yeah, is kinesthetic, but that's not the only thing that works for our hands-on learners, our tactile, our kinesthetic, whatever you want to call them learners. They need more movement, more actions that are intentional while they take notes, for those notes to actually mean something, for those notes to be effective. Okay? So, third and final reason why I do not like guided notes comes down to the fact that your teens are never going to learn how to take notes from those guided notes, and they're not going to know how to make those notes useful for them. Okay. So many students I work with, so many teens, when we teach note taking, and I have them send me pictures of their notes and we go over them together to see, okay, did you use the rules that you've learned? How could we make these notes better? Did you personalize them? Do they do all the things that I teach teens how to do through my Love to Learn program? And what I see consistently is they fill in like their guided notes. Like one of my students right now is not doing great in math. And we've talked about colors. So she's done that. We've got that going, which is amazing. But yet I asked her to explain to me how to do that math problem. And, she's in pre-algebra, algebra 1, so I can still actually do the content. I know that. But when I ask her, well, what does this mean? Or why did you write this down? She has no idea. And that's even after taking notes in the morning and then we meet right after school. She has no idea. So I ask her, how are you going to remember what this means 2 days from now, 2 weeks from now when the test is, let alone a couple months later during the final? She's got no plan. She has no idea. And she thinks that she's good to go because she had guided notes. She filled in what the teacher wrote on the board, and that's all she thought she had to do. I want students to take notes by hand, meaning they can use those guided notes as like reference, but it's only a starting point. It is not the only thing that your child needs to write down in order to actually have enough notes to understand, to get what was supposed to be gotten out of that lesson. So if your teen is using guided notes and your teen is struggling, I'm not surprised. If your child doesn't know how to take notes and is struggling, again, not surprised. Note taking is the absolute most important study skill that I teach. It's the first one in my Love to Learn program because it ties into every other skill. So your child needs to know how to take notes. Guided notes are not the way to do it. So if you have questions, let's talk. If you want your teen to learn how to take notes, you want your teen to actually know how to learn through study skills, please go to that link in the description, click on it, choose a day, choose a time for us to meet you, your teen, myself. It's always amazing when I get to meet mamas one-on-one, and even better when your teens are able to join us. So thanks so much, mamas. Have an awesome night. See you in the next video.